Hey guys, welcome to Gemini season. We are officially in the season of Mercury, neutrality, communication, environment, our neighborhood, the things around us that cause intellectual thought processes, strategy, and how we relate with others for the very first time in the life cycle. My name is Liz Manuel, and on this channel, we talk all about astrology, seasonal wellness, seasonal slow living, and how to align your life closer to the natural energies that exist right here, right now. Now, let's talk about the context of Gemini outside of Gemini itself. I'm a studying herbalist. There's some lilacs growing right outside my door, and this is one of the first things I want to talk to you about is the fact that lilacs in New England only really are available for like 2 weeks out of the whole year. And it's always right at the right beginning of Gemini season, the first air sign of the zodiac, ruled by Mercury, where we get to experience the sense, like the sensations that Taurus made us aware of, but we now get to experience that in our day-to-day environment. And it allows our mind to develop ways of perceiving, ways of integrating. Oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I think I want to go be social. Oh, today I think I want to lay back. I think I want to relax. But now my mind needs to be stimulated. How do I stimulate my mind? You go outside, you experience the smell, the sensation, the sun. You experience all these things that are Gemini in nature. So, what makes up a Gemini? What we can look to is the opposite sign of Sagittarius. And what Sagittarius is a fire sign ruled by Jupiter. And if you actually look at the whole zodiac rulership scheme, you'll notice that Jupiter and Mercury are divine opposites. So anything that's ruled by Jupiter, which is Sagittarius and Pisces in traditional astrology, Pisces and Sagittarius are ruled by Jupiter. So therefore, their opposites, Virgo and Gemini, are ruled by Mercury, both. Okay, so we can always use that as a default of understanding Gemini. So, what does a Jupiterian sign have that relates to a mercurial sign? Well, Jupiter is always associated with higher wisdom and like a overall view of the world that has to do with knowledge as good, knowledge as expansion, knowledge and wisdom gained from culture, from spirituality. To me, Pisces' word is spirituality and Sagittarius's word is culture. So when you think about those two things, spirituality and culture, that is really describing like universe, universal awareness. The world card in the tarot is exactly, to me, the Jupiter. So, okay, now let's think about Gemini. We can also think about Virgo as well. Virgo's word, if Pisces is spirituality, Virgo is reality. And if Sagittarius is culture, Gemini is environment, right? So you think about the culture of something. What it really is at its core is making up a whole definitive group. Okay. Essentially, it's a group of mutual belief systems, mutual food, mutual celebration. It really ties into belief because you think about a culture and you would think immediately about, okay, what are the holidays that they celebrate? And at the holiday core, what the core of holidays are is a belief system that they should be celebrating, right? Like we wouldn't have Christmas if we didn't believe that there was like this core element of Christmas, which is brought on by religion, like Christianity. It all is rooted in religion, essentially. So there's belief system that makes up culture. There's food that makes up culture. It's lifestyle as well. And so this is all Sagittarian stuff. So what is the opposite of culture? So Gemini would be ages 9 through 13. And when you think about what we're even doing at that age, that is a really good place to start. And so let's reel it all in. Sagittarius is culture. If Sagittarius is culture, the expansion of religion and belief and lifestyle and how we celebrate and how we integrate food and how certain cultures just develop this like belonging of belief. Then what Gemini brings is a belonging of your immediate environment. When we look at the zodiac and we think about Aries as the beginning, Pisces as the end, what is right across from Aries is Libra, and this represents the equinox signs, okay? So what those signs actually represent are the balance of light, essentially. These are just as important as the tropic signs of Cancer and Capricorn. Cancer is the utmost light and Capricorn is the utmost darkness. So when we're thinking about this whole life cycle, we need to understand that if Aries is birth, Libra is midlife. Libra and Aries are like the beginning and middle, and Cancer and Capricorn are actually the middle of those things. So what we can do, because we're human and humans typically have a life cycle of 100 years, let's just call it 100 years, we can say that Cancer is 25 years old, right? Midlife is 50, so that's Libra. Aries is 0. What Capricorn is about 75 years old. Pisces is the oldest, the eldest, okay? The main point I want to talk about here is if you look at the zodiac and you say Aries and Libra are basically the things that divide midlife. It's like the top half is older signs. So from Scorpio to Pisces, it's like you're over the hill, like essentially. Libra is you getting to the top of the hill. And then it's just think of it as that, okay? Aries is here, you get up to Libra, Libra to Pisces, okay? When we're thinking about opposite signs, we're always gonna have one sign in like the earlier life, and we're gonna have the other in the elder life. If you're talking about Aries and Libra, that's like gonna be cutting it it's the same thing essentially. It's like birth, midlife. What have we learned? That's why Libra defines the falling of the sun. The sun has been rising since Aries because this is youth. It's so fascinating to me because the sun is rising as we're youthful. And that makes sense because us as our own youthfulness, there's momentum behind us that's like propelling us forward. And it's like propelling us in life to live life. It's like young people are the epitome of the non-burdened. And that's why we are so filled with life. We are filled with the momentum of the sun rising. And so when the sun falls, there's a whole different flavor, but it's wiser flavor. If you have any placements in these elder signs, you have to understand that that doesn't mean that you just don't have momentum behind you. It means that you have the wisdom behind you. The youthful placements are the placements that are experiential and they're learning about life. They're like younger souls who are like really trying to understand the life cycle and the lifestyle. So, what I've been trying to say for so long in this whole point is that if you are looking at the opposite of a sign, you can consider as like a baseline, if you're studying it this way, like I am with life cycle and everything, you can really say that if one sign is on the falling sun side, right, the elderly, like past Libra and to Pisces, any sign like that, that is going to be the bigger picture, the more like worldly generational picture. And all of my words that I've been developing to define these signs all coincide with that. So Scorpio being perception and Taurus being sensation, what we talked about last month, is exactly that. Our sensations when we're born and when we are growing up define, like, if I like a texture, it's going to define how I perceive the world eventually. Like, all of our sensations allow us to perceive the world because if we like a smell, if we like a taste, if we like a food, if we like, what else is Taurus themes? If we like the sight, if we like the beauty of certain things, it is going to shape our perception of the world through what we like sensationally and through our values. Okay. So it is like taking me years to get this point across, but this is just like so fascinating to me. Jupiter, Sagittarius, culture is a macro view, okay? If culture is the macro, what is the micro? So when you think about culture, you think about that lifestyle, like the way that people have developed belief, the way that people have developed celebration and social, right? It has the Gemini stuff all in it. The social connections, the colors, the like artistic way of portraying a culture, the fashion, the everything about a culture as a micro version can be seen as our environment. Now, the word environment, we have to break that down a little bit deeper because I don't want you guys thinking that it's just like, oh, your immediate environment, your neighborhood, your like, it is that, but it's more than that. It is the social interaction within the environment. It is your neighborhood. It is your community, right? Communities are what eventually made culture. Okay. So, do you see this connection? Do you see there's connection in the whole life cycle of astrology? And it is so fucking fascinating. So, Sagittarius and Gemini deal with the community that has turned into culture, essentially. And you think back to times way before modern time, and you can essentially understand that communities are what made culture because they were of like belief systems, of like traditions, of like same descent. There are so many things that make a culture what it is, but essentially it is how you are relating to your immediate environment. I can't believe am I a philosopher? Am I just like understanding a philosophy that already exists and it's just in my brain, but I don't know it exists? Please let me know in the comments if I'm like speaking about something that already exists and is defined this way. Please, please just send me links, send me whatever this is. So Gemini, Gemini. I have Venus and Mercury in Gemini and I'm a Cancer sun and moon. So I've got a lot of late planets in Gemini and early planets in Cancer, which makes me an 8th house stellium if I'm looking at a Placidus chart. Scorpio rising here. So Gemini and I have a relationship. I can see Gemini in my life. And I want to talk about some ways that I do understand Gemini and how it actually is portrayed in the human, right? I want you to understand like how Gemini can be in a human so that you can also understand the energy. Okay. So the energetics of Gemini and how it comes through in a human is quick. It's quick witted because it wants to relate and it wants to understand. It wants to develop belief. Okay. At its core, if that is the goal is always what is beyond, and what is beyond and across from it is Jupiter in Sagittarius, right? Jupiter's Sagittarian rulership. So if we want to understand the energetics of Gemini to live seasonally, we can say that like social interaction is ideal right now. Understanding new concepts. This is a beautiful time to garden and have a relation with the earth and understand like how certain elements in your environment are interacting with you as well. So something I'm also realizing right now is I need to stop drinking so much coffee. I drink a lot of coffee and I'm understanding that like it actually is stimulating my mind, which is obviously so Gemini, but like it's overstimulating my mind. And you might find that there are overstimulations happening in your life. So look to where you're being overstimulated right now. Gemini is the overstimulation of the mind as the dark side. The light side of Gemini is like moderate social interaction and like discovery. We could also say, along with environment as the word, it's like social discovery and discovery period, because how do we develop a belief system? The goal, Sagittarius, how do we develop that belief system if we don't discover what makes us feel understood? Gemini, I think, wants to always feel understood, and it tries to do that through speaking, communicating, and really like going through the depths and coming back with more, going through the depths, coming back with more. If we think about Mercury, we can also understand that Hermes was like the messenger who would go to hell and back up to send information. This is something I've heard. I don't actually know Greek mythology that well, but if you look into Hermes, Hermes is the god of Mercury. So if you look at that storyline, you can understand a little bit more about it. It's like it is a messenger. So it wants to communicate, relate, communicate to someone else, relate. It likes being like this, like back and forth person, and it likes to hold the information and give you the information and also receive it. This also lends itself to Mercury being neutral. When we think about Venus, we think about receptivity. And also Venus and Mars, these are the planets that are the fastest moving around the sun. These are all the inner planets. They have a lot to do with our day-to-day, like our inner life. Again, all the planets that are from Aries to Libra, the young zodiac signs are all ruled by the inner planets. The outer planets also rule the older signs, which is weird. So many fucking patterns. So Mercury is a neutral. That's often what Mercury is called in the scheme of planet rulership. Venus is receptive, so therefore it has a feminine quality. All that really means, it doesn't mean gender, it just means that it is receptive. So it's not going to take assertive action like Mars. Mars is the assertive action planet. And we all have these planets in our birth chart. So you can always look to your birth chart and see what is predominant in your life. How does that come through? I am a Mars ruled girly. So I have an assertion to me that is very predominant, but my Venus is ruled by Mercury. So the way that I'm receptive is I like intellectual conversation. The way that these things can come through is like Mercury is the neutral and it wants to be both. That is how I see Mercury and Gemini. It's okay with like being both. And as an air sign, this is all about the mind. So right now is the best time to expand your mind. Tap into some of that Sagittarian value and expand your mind in ways that you haven't been doing, in ways that feel new, because we are at the beginning. We're only 9 to 13 years old. So what do you do when you're 9 to 13 years old? You are playing with your neighbors. Isn't that funny? That is the most Gemini thing. It's like playing in your neighborhood, understanding your community. You're probably in school. You're probably opening your mind to new ideas, developing your belief system, and that is going to shape what culture you belong to in the world when you get to that Jupiter age, when you get to that life cycle in Sagittarius. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really did. I'm going to be trying something new on this channel and really just speaking, like just speaking my thoughts out loud. My partner, the love of my life, he is incredible. I was talking to him this morning and I was like, I need clarity on how to do this content stuff because I think I told you guys last time. I don't know what I'm doing on here yet. I want it to be special, but I don't like having a solid strategy. I did that already. If you guys want to check that out over on Liz Aaron Media YouTube channel. Didn't really work for me. I wasn't crazy about it. So I need some sort of structure and strategy. But he was like, Lizzie, you speak so eloquently and so passionately to me about this stuff. Why don't you just do it on camera? And I was like, my mind just like blown. And that's also a Gemini Jupiter expansion moment, okay? So this is what I'm doing now. I am coming on here to just like spew and speak about the things that are really fascinating to me. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you want, check out all the things that I offer below. I have a little Etsy shop where I sell zodiac birthday cards and also personalized astrology natal chart posters. I am developing something also really exciting behind the scenes, and it has to do with living seasonally. It has to do with living off of your phone and off of the digital world, and it is going to be beautifully aligned with every season. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I will tell you more about all the things in all of my videos, so feel free to subscribe if you want to keep up with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!